All right, hey everyone, Christian here from CK Wraps. So today we're going to be wrapping the rest of these interior pieces, or rewrapping them I should say, in rose gold. It's going to be a lot of fun because rose gold doesn't conform very well, so this stuff's going to be a little bit challenging. We've removed the parts already from the vehicle. They've been wrapped in the snakeskin by another shop, and we're just completely changing it up to rose gold. So the shop's done a few things. This area was lifting actually quite a bit, so we're not going to stretch the film into this. We're going to do an inlay. We're going to do lots of inlays. There's going to be lots of pieces because we can't wrap over this and around and everything else. Just like they've done pieces here, there's a seam right here, 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 here. Seams all the way around here. There's lots of seams. With this film, it doesn't show it all that much, so it's okay to do seams. Don't feel like you have to do it all in one piece because it's going to be impossible, literally. So we're going to start by removing the film. So this is the Hexus snakeskin stuff. We're going to heat it up. So I just noticed right here they didn't cover some of the gray right there. The sides are acceptable right here. I'll probably try to cover them anyways, but this piece right here hasn't been covered, and same with the front piece over here. Just gonna get it soft. Let's find an edge here and get this stuff off. All right, that's one. See how this comes out. Let's turn that off. Get some pliers. We're going to squeeze these little tabs and push this out. One more here. All right, let's keep this in a safe place. So again, we're going to soften the film and remove it. They actually did do an inlay here. It still failed. It's probably just the film. It's not very good. It's literally just crumbling apart. We can stand the heat gun up and add heat as we remove it, as opposed to holding the heat gun the whole time. Most of them will stand like that. So lots of pieces, lots of inlays, which means we're going to have to do pretty much the same. So also guys, I just want to say one thing while I'm doing this. If you're ordering film on eBay, and I get a lot of questions about it, there's a lot of businesses out there, online businesses that are selling film, and it's like old Vivid film or old Avery or old Hexus and stuff that's just not good, and people are wondering why they can't wrap with it. And they're claiming that it's XPO or whatever version of the film it might be, but when you get it, it's not what it is. I had a lady send me her bicycle to wrap in Gold's Chrome, and she sent me the Gold's Chrome with it, which is Vivid, and she paid for that. And that the film that she had actually purchased is a non-conformable version of Chrome. It just won't work. It's just only good for like wrapping a wall or something very flat, but that's it. So she wasted her money. So just be careful when you're buying stuff online, and understand that there's a lot of risks involved. If you do need to order film, you can always order through us. That's not a problem. We do ship it out anywhere in Canada and the US. All right, let's remove this piece. So again, there's an inlay done in the cup here, or whatever you want to call it, the recess area. It could be a key tray or something like that. So there are knife marks on this. It's going to happen because, you've got a cut, and it shouldn't happen, but it's just not being careful enough. I'll try and show you those as soon as I get the rest of this off. So again, this was wrapped by another wrap shop, a very reputable wrap shop in the area. You do have to get these buttons out of here. They actually pinch on the back. I'll remove this, and let's get this one out of here. So there's just clips on the back, that guy pops out. This one here I haven't figured out yet. Let's get the rest of the film off though. It's wrapped so far around, it makes it really difficult to remove. So they did this in a piece too. They seamed it. Honestly have no idea why there's a seam right here, but there is. It's interesting because what we're going to do is we're just going to lay one piece over top of this, and there'll be no need for a seam at all, other than in this area here. So I see knife marks, I'll show you those. Let's get this little thing off, and then we're going to start wrapping. I'm going to save this piece for a whole separate video. Just got to look at this. Okay, so it's a cap. Push out. Tab on the back here, I'm just going to pop it out. Okay. So that I can undo this. Piece right here. There we go. All right, I'm going to push this out. So I see the tabs. My tool doesn't work. It looks like the tabs are actually broken on this. It's going to be kind of fun. Getting it out. It's hard to see what they did here. There we go, it slides out. So let's get the cigarette lighter part out of here. The 12 volts, sorry, it's not a cigarette lighter anymore. Let's get that out. Alright, so got the whole piece out, perfect. So I've done a little separate piece in there, and then these are just buttons, and they're wrapped separately. If I'm gentle enough, I won't need to use any heat. Need a bit of heat on this guy. All right, so we need to do an inlay in here, and then I'm just thinking right now about either doing this the rest in one piece or not. I don't believe I'll be able to do this back section here, but probably this area here should be fine. So I'm going to show you, if you can see the knife marks. So there's knife marks all the way around here, around the edges here, and on top here. So it's just not being careful when we're cutting. So we'll be careful when we're cutting, plus we're only going to be cutting truly in this area, and we're not putting a seam here or anything like that like they did. All right, so let's do this complex little piece first, this dome, I think we say call it as far as the shape goes. And let's get some isopropyl alcohol. I use 70%. Let's get that cleaned up. I missed it onto the rag. It's a little bit better that way. That way you're not soaking the parts. All right, we have, let's see if this is large enough for this, because otherwise I'll use it for that. Nope. All right, so we're going to use this piece for this. So get that out right here. Let's get that over there. And let's cut this piece out. I'm just going to double check to make sure everyone can see. Okay. I'll try to zoom in a little bit here. Oops. All right. Let's get that out of the way. So, we have our piece of film cut. We're going to remove the protective cap, because there's no way that you're going to be able to bend this film with it on. This might take more than one try. As with anything, as with a lot of things, I haven't wrapped this before, especially in chrome. So we're going to do this and try to get it done in one shot and see how it goes. So issues with these pieces is that they're going to move around. Excuse me. All right. So we're going to make sure we have full coverage here. And we're going to get the heat going. I'm going to turn it down to halfway. I don't want to kill this. I don't want to roast it. And we're just going to start by creating kind of a hinge somewhere so that when we pull on the film, it doesn't just lift off. And so what I want to do here is I want to come around the corners. And we're just going to work it little by little here. If this was any other film, I would just do a pre-stretch, put it around, and then shrink it afterwards. But this is going to require a different technique as far as working it around goes. And it may not work the first try. So we're at the edge for that side. We've got to finish this up over here and keep working it. But what I want to do is bring the film across this way. So I want to conform it, and it's hard to do right now. I want to conform it around the shape, so we can take care of the sides. Now the film kind of wants to curve around the sides of this piece. Okay, we're going to get to the front here, and I'm going to pull it outwards. Okay, you see how that's going? Let's get this up a bit. And I I push this piece against my chest so that I can steady it a little bit better. So we're just going to work it, and it's a nice thin film, works very well, but we still have to be cautious when we're conforming it to not damage it, add too much heat, that kind of stuff. So there's minimal stretch here. Using my thumbs to spread it out. Okay. So we're at all the edges. Now we're gonna go a little bit further down. And the film right now is in good shape. It's not damaged at all, it's not hazed, looks great. Because anyone can do this, but to do this without damaging the film is a whole different skill set. It will damage extremely easily. So when working with chrome, don't be too hard on yourself. You'll end up going through a lot of it trying to learn how to work with it. So I add a little tension as I push it down and around, which helps keep the wrinkles away. I've got my 3M blue squeegee, which is just right for this kind of stuff. This squeegee is very flexible. It can be too flexible for certain applications, so we have to use different squeegees sometimes, but it's great for stuff like this. Just gonna go hit it with a bit of heat. Perfect. All right. So, for this area here, since they didn't wrap all of it, we're going to try to wrap all of it but the sides here. We'll take our blade and run it down each side. If your blade is super sharp, this is really easy to do. Okay. So we'll relax that. Cut on the bottom edge here. That piece can go. Relax this going here and make sure we're nice and relaxed in this little recess here, and get rid of this now. Perfect. Before we cut anything, we're going to examine the piece. I'm leaving the numbers overlapped because they were already overlapped. I'm not going to trim out the lettering and numbers for the shifting, for the shift knob. And we're just going to trim off all the excess here. As you can see, I'm not really moving my knife, I'm just moving the piece. Especially when it comes to going around the turns. Alright, let's get this off. And there we have the rose gold shifter section. Let's do this guy here. And now we can get over to this if you're still paying attention by that time. All right. Let's clean it up. Alright, so they did this in a separate piece. We won't need to. We're just going to use the excess from what we trim out here and push it down and in. It's going to be super easy. So yeah, so let's do this inlay here. About that. So it's going to be a little bit difficult getting it in there. and working it. There's actually, you can see all kinds of cut marks here, so even more than what I showed you, but whatever. We're going to cover it right now. So we kind of need to get this in a way where it's not bunching up too much. So if we have too much film, it's going to leave us, it's going to be a problem, basically. We can create a template for this, but then you're extremely limited, and it's hard to do a template. It's not hard to do a template, it's hard to get the template in here afterwards. So it's just a matter of working the film in here. It's probably not even necessary to wrap this bottom piece because the key tray goes back in. So I'm just looking at how this looks right now. So I'm going to squeegee to flatten everything out. So yeah, so getting it in there is a bit difficult. It's not terrible. Some air in there, let's get it out. So I got it in there. I'm going to trim out some excess. So this is where cut marks can happen if you're not careful. It's just hard to see, guys, so bear with me here. If we're cutting gently enough, we should only really be scoring the film and not cutting right through. Staying in this corner is a task. See how we look. Someone has a performance alternator belt on their car. All right. Again, come around the corner here, which is the hard part. All right, it's coming along. That was the really tight edge on the other side there, so this is the easy one. So we've got that piece in there. We're going to for sure have to do a piece on the back here. Because I would actually rather do a piece on the back here and then stretch all this in, because we'll have, once we cut this away here, this extra section, and cut slits here to overlap there, we'll have some slack here to push this in, and it shouldn't be too much stretch. In my opinion, it won't be. There's a piece right there. You can see that I use the squeegee instead of my fingers a lot of the times when I'm squeegeeing it in. It's just easier to keep it a little more consistent and flat. Just double checking the sharpness of the blade. So now I'm overlapping the bottom piece just slightly. Try and keep both sides symmetrical. So, hey, how are you? Sorry, I'm just gonna pause the video. All right, we're back. Someone just came by to borrow a tool, not a problem. All right, so let's trim this off along the body line right here. All right, now we have the back piece in. So if I can't wrap this whole piece while stretching into here in one piece, then I'm just gonna redo it, and I'll do an inlay in here also. But I wanna try it without it. It's a small piece of vinyl, and I'm not worried about wasting it for a nicer look in the end. So I'm just gonna cut some rose gold. All right, so just cut myself a nice strip of rose gold. Let's check to see how long we need that. All right. Is that damage there? That is damage. Let's put it at the other end because it's more narrow. All right, let's do this end. So it's about there. Let's cut this piece. Hey, how are you? So I'm just going to pause this again. All right, sorry about that again. Interruption number 2, but we'll get back to it. Just trying to help the guys out. They need tools. Don't know what they're doing. All right. Let's do this guy in one shot. Not that hard. It's going to be a little more challenging up here, I suppose, but still shouldn't be that bad. So again, we know we're using Vivid as the product. We'll lay this on, figure out where we need it. So what I'm trying to do is work around this little bump that we have there. So if I stretch the film out, I can get rid of all the slack, and now we don't have as much slack in that area there. So where's my squeegee? Right there. Let's use that. Let's just get this up to here. So we want to avoid getting contaminants under this, of course. It's really awkward to do this, but it'll come out. Sit back down. All right. So I'm just gonna work it, get all that air out. I'm going to finish off all these edges right now. So again, this corner down here, we have to kind of spread out the stretch and get it around. We'll wrap it around a fair bit, but I'm not going to go as far as the other shop did. There's not really any need to. What I'm going to do right now is trim off some of this excess that's getting in my way. all that excess film was getting in my way. It's kind of bothering me. So I'm gonna get it out of the way. All right, looks good. We're nice and smooth and rounded off over on the edges here. Now with a little bit less film, I can finish it off really nicely. Get all this down right here. I'll show you what I did on the other side. I'll do to this side right now. I'm just running the back of my blade on the back edge. I'm not rolling a ton of the film around the other edge. It's not really necessary to do that. Clean that up with our thumb or finger. Shut this off for a second, it's just loud. Same nail on the top, I'm just running the back of my blade on it. It's nice and clean. Now, all we need to do is turn this back on again. Just roll this around slightly. Yep. Then trim off the excess. Same deal on this side. I'm just going to roll it over. And there's tension here, but it's kind of pulling on itself right now. So this won't lift up on that edge over here. Alright, now I'm going to trim a small section across the top so I can overlap these corners just on the very top, and I'll show you up close what that looks like afterwards, just so I can wrap a little further up here and have this corner looking pretty. Alright, so we can see all I've done is put a little slit here and basically overlapped it very, very, very slightly. Same deal on that side over there, and you can't even see that seam. Plus, it's at this part is actually tucked away, way far away, and you can't even see it. So, won't be an issue. Now we have to take care of this section here. So I need to find where I did my inlay and where those lines are. Hey, go ahead. Thank you. You too. All right, so I'm looking to see where my inlays are. All right. Let's go. Cut that down a bit and round it off. All right. So I'm gonna hope that when I push down that the film maintains itself as far as its look goes. It's going to be a bit of stretch, but we'll do a bit of post heat. I'm just going to work it in there a little bit at a time. All right, so it failed to meet this area in here. It's probably gonna happen on the other side as well. But we tried it. So I will have to do an inlay in there. It didn't meet it in that corner as well. That is my fault mostly for not looking ahead before I cut. I'm just going to get the film down a little bit more and then trim that out. So, slightly unfortunate, but we tried. I'm going to cut this top flat out. We'll do an inlay in there afterwards. What I want to do right now is trim this off now we're going to start working this area in. I can have a look at the backside and see how far in we need to go. So I'm going to leave about a ½ inch all the way around. Again, cutting on the backside. This is the section that houses this. We'll go over the edges again, always. I'm not giving it a crazy post heat, I'm just going over them. So for here, what we need to do is trim this out. I'm going to cut very precise as I can on that edge. Again, I add tension to the film, okay? Just turn this off. When I'm cutting, I add tension to the film. It gives me a nicer, straighter, cleaner cut. If the film has a lot of slack on it, it can get a little sloppy, and you don't want that. So and then for this area here where they put a separate piece, we need to do that because I'm just going to take the excess and push it down into that recess. So that's the excess piece. I don't know where the heat. It's pretty difficult getting in there with a squeegee. So we bust out the triangle. go over these edges here, make them nice and round and pretty. Let's do our inlay here. So, I need a piece that's going to fit roughly like that. That's not it. Cut a piece there. Let's get that over there. Let's get some of this garbage out of the way. Not sure this is going to work like that. Let me think. Because they did this in a piece here, a piece here, and a piece here. There's 4 pieces in here. I'm trying to think how I'm going to do it without that many. If I used a template, I could do this in one piece. So you can't just take the film and run it around. It doesn't work that way. So let's get rid of that. That ain't gonna work. That over there. If I cut kind of a horseshoe shape to it, it should work a little bit better. This is just, I'm just roughing it right now. That'll work better. Let's see. Still no. This piece sucks. All right. We're going to do it in 3 pieces because it's chrome. The nice part with the chrome is that the adhesive is clear, so seams are not even very noticeable at all. And it's a very thin material on top of that, so hides the seam even further. That's one. Piece. And that's gonna be this. We'll wrap the buttons separately afterwards. What's going on? I'm just doing a video here. One sec. So.
Chop the hair off?
Yeah, no.
Damn.
All right, this is the last piece for the inlay. All right, that's that piece right there. So that's all finished up. We'll wrap the buttons separately. And I'm gonna do another video on this piece right here and this piece on here, because it's probably been like an hour and a half right now to do all the pieces I just did. If you want to check out some more of our stuff and detailed pictures of what this looks like on the car afterwards, check out our Instagram at CK Wraps. Thanks everyone.